Well, hello, everybody. I've had some requests on how to read the charts that we use in our daily videos. So I thought I'd make a quick little video for you to be able to use to understand, kind of what we're talking about with the charts. And so something you could refer back to at some point in time. And here's one of the charts that we use quite often. So kind of one of the first things you want to know is, what are we looking at? What investments? And so it's the Vanguard S&P 500, ETF. And what are the ticker symbols VOO in this case? And this is a 1 year, one Y there. And each little box that we'll talk about here in a moment is 1 day, but that could be down to 1 minute and all the way up to 1 month with this particular program. And so the axis here, the vertical axis is the price. And so you can see it went up and down and then back up again over this year period. The axis across the bottom here is time. And so in this particular case, it's 1 year. And then if we kind of zoom in a little bit, I'll just hit this button here so we can see it a little bit more current. I'll explain these little boxes. These are called Japanese candlesticks. And real simply, they're green if the price for the open, it closed higher than it opened. It's red if it closed lower than it opened. And these little tails are the total distance that it traveled that day. And so really interesting pieces show some of the strength during the day. Like yesterday, we opened up above the price for the day before, and then just kept on going and closed near the high for the day. You can barely see the tail there. And so these little squiggly lines here are what are called moving averages, and they're literally just averages of the price. And so this dark blue line here is a 20-day moving average. So every point on this line is an average of the 20 days prior. And then this is a 50-day moving average and a 200-day moving average. Now you can tell the difference between them by how much they move. So a shorter average, like 20 days, you can see it moves a lot more, follows the price, it's a lot closer. Whereas a 50-day moving average, you can see is a lot smoother. And a 200-day moving average looks like nearly a straight line. Now, there's lots of things to understand about moving averages. And I'm just going to try to show you, the basics here. And then as we do the videos, I can describe, what we're looking at when we're looking at these moving averages. The other really important components of this chart is the volume. And so down here in this gray area on this bottom axis shows the volume per day. So you can see, prior to the election here, the volume kind of dropped down. People were waiting. And then once things started to happen, it really picked up and it's kind of dropped back down again. Um, but what's really important to me is what volume is at every single price. And so that's what this green piece here is. This is called a volume profile. So if you look at the very top here, this is a bar. So it's like a vertical bar. It's sort of taking this and flipping it on its side. And what this shows is there are not a lot of shares have traded at this price, which makes sense because this is basically the all-time high. Versus if we go over here, you can see a lot of shares traded at around 309. And so, really important in terms of support and resistance. And again, if I bought at 309, let's say back here somewhere, and it went all the way to 335, and it happened to come back to 309 again, I might buy it again thinking, okay, I can make money again. So that's what creates the support, which I think is very important to understand. It can also be resistance. So if the price falls through that 309, let's say goes down here to 300, then, when it's trying to come back up, whoever bought at 309 might say, wow, I bought at 309, it dropped to 300. And if it comes back again, I'm going to sell. And so sometimes it takes a while to kind of get through that. But this volume profile really shows me how much uh, shares traded at every single share price. And so you can really see, what's happening here. And again, that's what's so important about what's happened recently. We're way above all of these shares that were purchased, at these lower prices, which again gives us a lot of support. So those are the basics. There's lots of pieces on here, but those are the things that you really need to understand to kind of understand the videos that I cover as far as that goes. And I'll give some additional details, during those videos. But hopefully that helps. And I look forward to, continuing to talk to you during our daily updates. Thank you.